Performers and Achievers. Welcome to Performers and Achievers Daily with me, Raj Gavurla. In today's episode, I'm talking about the World Cup. Team USA 2-0 win over Bosnia. What did you notice about the match? Well, if you listen to my previous podcast, a lot of the things that were said on that podcast were applied to this match. Now, what amazes me about the World Cup is that how many people from different nationalities are there. And it's pretty amazing. It's similar to the Olympics when I went to the Olympics in Atlanta. And it's similar and actually not quite as similar as when I went to Zurich, Switzerland, and I stayed in a youth hostel. That was the place where I experienced the most people from the most nationalities. And it was different than attending the World Cup in person or attending the Olympics in person because I was around people of my nationality. Whereas when I went to this youth hostel, I was there. I checked in, went into my room, and there were bags there, but no one else is there. And they were like bunk beds. So I put my bags in and put my belongings together. Really didn't see a lot of people. So I went downstairs and I asked the clerk, who am I rooming with? He said, I don't know. They just randomly put people in the room. So I got upstairs, went back upstairs, situated my things, and then went back downstairs and went into this big banquet room. It wasn't so big, but it was like a banquet meeting room. And all of a sudden, there were people from, it seemed, every nationality watching soccer. And it was amazing just watching and just meeting people. And I was sort of awestruck. There were just people from, it seemed, every nation. I asked a few people, I'm from England. I'm from Germany. I'm from Austria. I'm from Spain. I'm from Morocco. I'm from the USA, which was me. And so it was just really, really amazing. France. I mean, really, Norway. It was amazing. And I never had experienced anything like that. So I go back up to my room and the bags are gone. My bags are there. The other bags are gone. So I ended up having the whole room to myself. And what a lot of people do in Europe is they backpack through Europe. And so a lot of the people there, they were just like on an adventure. I was going through Zurich, Switzerland, and I had a day stay over, 2 days stay over on the way to India. So that was the reason I was going through Zurich. However, they were there and they were backpacking and they were just going all over the place. I'm not really familiar with doing anything like that. I think, or familiar with like there's some kind of Euro pass or something to that effect. So that was my experience. So my question to you is, and something for you to experience, is think of a time when you're around people from different nationalities, where you're not just with people from your nationality. And what was that like? And what were the benefits of that? What did you find interesting about that? Yeah, it's pretty amazing. My experiences and what I've benefited from it and how. And of course, each person benefits in their own way. And so that was pretty amazing. And so my bonus to you is that if you haven't been around people from different nationalities, all right, from different nationalities, then it'd be good for you to maybe try that or experience that, being around people from different nationalities. What do you experience? When I say different nationalities, I'm not talking about going to some place and, well, yeah, you can do that. You can stay in America and go to some place where people are from different nationalities. But usually, when that occurs, at least from my experience, is something like the World Cup or the Olympics. I don't know many other places like that. There may be some international organizations like that. I'm not involved with any. So it's just interesting to me. And so that's what I have. And as you watch soccer, I will add this bonus. And maybe when you watch soccer, you'll have a little more insight into this, into watching soccer. And that is, a lot of people know soccer. Some people know how to play soccer. Of course, there's different levels, right? Just like anything. So, do you know soccer is different than knowing how to play soccer, or is different than playing soccer? Knowing soccer and playing soccer are two different things. So, anyway, here's what I want you to look for. Which team is powerfully controlling the center of the pitch in each third? So the soccer pitch is divided into thirds, right? There's the finishing third, which is the offensive side. There's the middle third, okay, which comprises of some of the offensive side and some of the defensive side. And then there's the defensive third. The defensive third. Okay, so it's split into three. Now, powerfully controlling the center of pitch in each third is basically between that area in the pitch that is about, I'd say, about 5 feet inside, 4 feet inside of the penalty box, or 4 feet outside of the six box marking. Okay. That should be sort of in that area. Okay. So that's the center of the pitch. Okay. That area. Okay. It's not necessarily the center, it's that area I'm calling the center. The parts to the right of that or to the left of that, those are the flanks or outside of the center of the pitch. So, which team is powerfully controlling the center of the pitch? And then here's the other metric to look at. Which team is keeping the ball out of their defensive third the most? Which team is keeping the ball out of their defensive third the most? Which team, right? And then, of course, the other one, when you do those two things, then obviously your chances or the percentage or the probability of you scoring goals increases drastically. Most of the goals come in that area. Whether you're on the offensive side, your team, or the team that's against your team, most of the goals come within that area. And so then you have a metric, okay? And this metric is a very challenging metric. It doesn't happen often. However, which team scores a goal every 15 minutes? Every 15 minutes. That rarely happens, doesn't it? However, that's a good metric to see. So let's just say in a soccer match, there's two halves, 45 minutes each half, 15-minute period. That means a goal every 15 minutes. Does that happen often? No. It is very challenging to score in soccer. However, sometimes it it's just a good metric to look at. And sometimes they score one goal in 30 minutes, sometimes in 45 minutes. Sometimes it takes 60 minutes. Sometimes it takes 75 minutes, right? However, that's a metric to look at. Now, the other thing is, and of course, is that, there's the clean sheet. So obviously that's part of it, right? By keeping the ball out of the defensive third more than the other team, and by powerfully controlling the center of pitch in each third. So that's also includes the defensive third, that includes the middle third, and that includes the finishing third. So the other day, Belgium was playing, and they were down by 3 goals or 2 goals. And they came back and won with 3 goals in the last 5 minutes of the match. So they waited till the last 5 minutes to score 3 goals, which is very rare also. However, those are some metrics to use in addition to the metrics that I talked about previously, which were also relevant. So watch Team USA, which is my team. My nationality is American, USA. I am Indian American, and I was raised here in this country, and I was born in India. However, I came here when I was 4 and raised in Greenville, South Carolina. And so whether your team is Team USA or team whatever your country is that you're pulling for, look at these metrics and see and watch soccer in a different way. Or now another way of watching soccer. That's what I have for you today. If you like my podcast, like it and comment in the comment section. For those of you who are interested in private, personal, professional, confidential services and programs with me, visit my website, rajgavurla.com, fill out the brief forms, and we will contact you as soon as we can. Enjoy your day.